Sleep, sleep, and more sleep. So it's kind of been the theme for the last couple of days, is how to best get the best quality sleep that you can. Because, well, as we've discussed, it's a fucking cheat code. It's the cheat code to more willpower, to discipline, to focus, to drive, to grit, to determination, to follow through, often happiness, less anxiety, all of these kinds of things. It's one of those things that, well, if you can get it, and if you can wrap your head around it, boy oh boy is it going to make a difference for you. Boy oh boy is it going to help, well, every aspect of your life. It's one of those ones that they often talk about, that if it was a drug, it would be the most abused drug under the sun. Because the level it helps you, the level it allows you to elevate your game is just massive. From, recovery to weight loss, to fat loss, to strength, to muscle building, to all those kinds of things. It just is. It's just a huge benefit. And so yesterday we spoke about the physiological components that you can do to improve it. So if you want to go back, check that out. We really got into the weeds a bit on specific ways to improve sleep on the physiological level. Now today I wanted to talk about more of the mental component of sleep. And if we get time, we'll dabble into a bit of the supplementation as well. But sleep isn't just the physiological component of laying your head down and conking out. Now, if you're exhausted enough, yeah, that's probably what happens. But for a lot of people, especially when we talk anxiety and things like this, it's a great moment for overthinking, for your brain to finally kick into overdrive, and suddenly you can't get to sleep. Suddenly you cannot fall asleep. Your brain's just going tick, 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 tick. And even if you do fall asleep initially, once you've recharged enough, suddenly you're jerking awake, and there it is. All those things that you hadn't put to rest, going round and round and round in your head. So I wanted to give you some tools to, well, assist with this. And a lot of these are just generally good advice, even if you don't want to utilize them around sleep time specifically, but they are good. The first one is, well, straight up, it's called a mind dump. And it's one of those tools that's incredibly effective, that really does actually help your mind settle itself. But at the same point, can be really awkward and uncomfortable the first couple of times you try it. So it's pretty much as it sounds. But what you're going to do is get a piece of paper, or ideally a book, pen, and you are going to write down just everything that comes into your mind. Every stray fucking thought, every little nuance, every weird association, everything. And you were just going to write it down, and you were going to just see what comes out. Now, the problem I have seen for a lot of people with this method is that A, they find it awkward to begin with, and therefore they don't actually do it properly, and B, that they don't give it enough time. And it is one of those ones, and especially if you're not used to handwriting things, and you must handwrite it. It can't be typed out, it can't be said, it can't be spoken or just thought about. It has to be handwritten. It can cause cramps. Like, if you're not used to handwriting, and this happens to me, suddenly your arm cramps, or your forearm cramps, or your hand cramps, or whatever the fuck, and you get these cramps going. So you need to power through that to really gain the benefit of it. And as I said, it's a bit awkward to begin with. And that's okay. Like, that's actually fine. That you let flow what's going to flow. Oftentimes I find that myself included, but for lots of people, those first few paragraphs are random things like, man, this feels weird. This is such an odd thing to do. There's nothing really going on in my head. I feel stupid writing this. Stuff like that. Write it all down and just keep writing and just keep writing. And what you'll find is eventually you'll reach a point and your brain will start to, well, answer the questions for you. It'll start to release the things that have been pent up for you. It'll start to uncover things that you didn't realize were pent up anxiety and stresses in your mind. And that's the point. And that's where we want to get to. You want to get to the point that you are releasing all those things that you weren't aware of, that were just kind of bubbling under the surface a little bit. And so you let them all out and, well, shit, suddenly you start to feel better. Shit, suddenly you realize, oh, is that what's been getting me down? Is that what's been bugging me? Is that what's been, eating away at me? Oftentimes it releases these things that you had no idea were down there. And it's why I think it's a really, really powerful thing, especially before sleep, but just as a general rule, because you start to uncover all those things you didn't know were eating away at you. And that, to be honest, is kind of the point. That's kind of what we're aiming to work on, is those random things that you had no idea were chipping away at you down there. So that's a really, really good option. Another one is to work out tomorrow's list. Now, I like to call this my greatness list. So I pick 5 major things that are going to get done. They are things that are going to move the needle forward in my most important areas of life. Now, because I have been doing this so long, the majority of them are not around health and fitness anymore. The majority of them are business related. But I pick the 5 things and I call it my greatness list and I write them out, and they are non-negotiable. They must get done. They are the 5 things that I have to get done to go to sleep next night. But the reason why this helps with sleep is because I get out of my head what I need to do. I've actually sat down and I planned out and I know what is required for tomorrow. I don't need to stress. I don't need to worry. I know exactly what I'm doing, what I'll be working on, where I'm heading, all that kind of stuff. And so it takes that pressure off me that it's like, oh my God, I've got 10 million things to do. No, I have 5 things. I have 5 things that have to get done. Now, if I get the end of them done and I feel like moving on and I've got more energy in the tank, fan-fucking-tastic. I am going to continue working. I'm going to do more. I'm going to keep pushing forward. But if I get my 5 done and I'm like, I am fucking tapped. There is nothing left. I am munted and I need to call it a day. I can call it a day. But it gives my mind a focus point for the next day. It gives me a clear focus and deliberate course of action that I'm going to take tomorrow. So it reduces that anxiety and allows me to calm down on it. Then you can progress into things like, gratitude. Gratitude is just a super duper powerful thing, and I think we should all practice it. And it's become this overhyped, cliched fuck thing that everybody wants to talk about. You got everyone from your soul hippies all the way to your fitness influencers like myself, your mentors, everyone. Everyone is talking about it, and there is a reason why. And I know it's one of those words that has been overused and overused and overused, but the reason why it has is because it works, because it's effective, because it helps. People who are more grateful for things in their life are happier. They find that things work out better for them. They're more optimistic, all this kind of stuff. Even if, that's all you get from it, or if you believe in the universe and, vibration and all that kind of stuff, whatever form you want to take on it, gratitude is a really great way to do it. And especially before bed, if you sit down, and again, handwriting, you need to handwrite things because it has a deeper connection to the brain and it instills it deeper and allows you to get, more connected to what's going on than typing or just speaking, or even, the worst version is just thinking. But give yourself an opportunity to be grateful. And if you write down 10 things that you can be grateful for today before you go to sleep, it shifts your perspective and it shifts how you're feeling. So you go into sleep feeling really good about the situation. Another option is meditation. Again, one of those things that every man and his dog has spoken about, but for good reason. For good fucking reason. Because it helps. It really helps. It really makes a difference. And again, especially before going to sleep. That idea of quietening your mind, calming everything down, getting it to relax down, and to give you space and a place to separate yourself from those things is the point. Like, especially when we're going to sleep, what you need is quietness. What you need is to calm the mind. What you need is to turn off that overthinking side of your brain and to just let everything settle down. Now, when it comes to meditation, it is going to depend on you. I've had many discussions with people and they're like, I just can't do it. My brain doesn't work like that. It doesn't like the calming sensation. Like, I can't be quiet. I can't calm it down, all that kind of stuff. That's fine. I really struggle with the silence meditation. I don't find that works really well for me. The only way I can do it is using a device called a Muse. But even then, that's kind of gamified the meditation and the silencing of the brain. So if you're like me and that idea of just actually trying to quieten your mind actually ramps everything up and makes you more distracted, don't use it. There are 10 million meditations out there. Most of them free. Find one on YouTube. Use Headspace. Use any of the apps. Calm, or I'm sure there are other ones these days. I haven't looked at them for a long time. But there are options that you can find and utilize when it comes to guided meditations. They're really great. That's what I generally use. I like using, there's a MindMod app. That's one of my favorites that I currently use. I really like that. Just to center myself, to connect to my body, to calm everything down. I'm just following along, I'm following the steps, and so that allows me to concentrate my mind and to do those kinds of things. So meditate. Find a couple of guided meditations that you like and just use those. Or alternative, you can try something like a Yoga Nidra. So a Yoga Nidra is one where you follow along and it guides you, but it's about like focus on your big toe and now focus on your foot and then focus on your calf and then focus on your knee, and you work yourself up the body, but it centers you in your body so that you're truly feeling all of that. And again, for sleep, that's a really, really great option because it connects you to your body and then gets your body to calm and to relax, and you relax deeply into it. And so that's a fantastic option of something that you can add in for that. And then we have other ones of things that are less directly into the anxiety thing, but are about shifting your state. Now, we spoke about in the physiological thing that your bedroom should only be for sex and sleep. Nothing else. You don't want to create any other stimulants. But within that, you also want to remove the way that you're overstimulating your brain. So that means no social media an hour before bed. It means no TV. It means ideally wearing blue blocking light glasses and not using any form of screen. Again, a lot of this stuff is take as what's going to fit your life, what's going to work. There are a million different ones, and to be honest, if you could do absolutely everything, you would be absolutely killing it. But I have 2 kids, I have a wife, I have a business, I'm a realist. I understand that people have fucking time commitments. I just want to give you the plethora of options so that you can make an informed decision and decide what is going to be best for you, what you feel is truly going to work for you in this situation. So you decide on that. But blue light blocking glasses are a really simple fix. You can buy them online. They can be, good ones are orange tinted. They're the best ones, but they don't need to be. And just use those. Try and limit your screen time. Try and eliminate your stimulation before bed. And especially things like dopamine chasing and doom scrolling and all that kind of stuff that's going to ramp you into a space that isn't going to put you into the right condition to go to sleep. There is a reason why people who end their day on their phones and start their days on the phone have higher rates of depression and anxiety. It is not a good thing to use. It is not the place you want to be, and you want to try and limit that usage as much as possible. The other things you can do is pick things that are going to wind you down. So we spoke about having a really hot bath, because a hot bath it's oddly enough the coolingness that makes you tired. So it's not being hot and warm, it's the cooling nature. So raising your internal body temperature really high and then bringing it down about an hour out from bedtime will really help you calm down and go to sleep. Really, really fantastic option to add into it. But within that, if you sat in the bath and you meditated, or you gave gratitude, or you read a book, because the other option that's really great is taking your mind into something that isn't serious, that doesn't require logic, analytical thought processes. So reading a fantasy book is a massive, massive fucking win, or a fiction book. It doesn't have to be fantasy. There are other things, and that'll depend on you, but some people don't recommend it doing things like thrillers or crime or stuff like that, because you don't want the last thing your mind to go through is to be caught up in the middle of a murder, but each to their own. But using something that will calm the body, that will calm everything down, that will settle you into the right place. Really, really great idea. So a fiction book is an excellent, excellent option to wind down. Or spending time with a loved one. Things that are actual relaxing, not sedation. So spending time just talking or cuddling. One of the studies has shown that 30 minutes of cuddling your partner will produce the same relaxation and recovery protocol as 30 minutes of a sports massage. Talk about a fucking wild study. Don't know how they measure that, but kudos and awesome. So spend time with your partner. Have some cuddles, have some snuggles. Snuggle up and just talk. Be with each other. Or do things that are calming and non-stimulating. So that could be painting, or doing a paint by numbers, or doing a Lego set, or doing one of those coloring books, or building figurines, or I don't know, something that is enjoyable, that isn't stimulating in that overall way, and will just relax you and you find enjoyable and has slow release serotonin and dopamine. Those are really great ways to wind you down, to not sedate you, but to calm you and get your body to kick into relaxing. Another options you can look into is box breathing, calming the mind, especially while laying in bed before you as you're trying to go to sleep, going through a box breathing cycle. So whatever derivative you need to use, but the simplest one is always 4 in, hold for 4, breathe out for 4, hold for 4, and just keep repeating. Just go round and round in that cycle, and see where you end up with that. It slows everything down, and it must be done through the nose. Do it through the nose, calm yourself, kick yourself into the relaxation zone. Take yourself out of fight or flight and get your body into a calming state. The whole point of all of the sleep, of everything that we're doing with this, is to calm you down, get you into the right place. And another one, which, as I discussed before, it's such a weird concept that things that we feel should just be a given to be done properly require work. they require effort. They require discipline and focus. And one of those is sleep. The other one is like breathing. It's like nutrition. It's like exercise. All these kinds of things that could and should feel like they should just be effortless aren't. They require focus and discipline and concentration and proper effort. But another one that works really, really well, but does require a lot of effort, is creating what we call a mind movie. So it's a scenario, and you could use it to visualize and work on things like manifestation and stuff like that, or you could just use it as a calming thing. But you create a movie of your life. Ideally, I would suggest you just make it of where you want to be in life, so that you go off to sleep with this really clear picture of where your life's heading. And if you're just starting out, it could be the physique that you want, or whatever it is, but you just create this mind movie and you play the same thing. And so you visualize living as if in that. But it creates this, as we discussed before, this pattern, that ritual, that habit of, oh, he's starting that movie. That means we're winding down to go to sleep. And it creates this signal that that's what's happening. You are winding down to go the fuck to sleep. And that's a really, really important process to add in. That you're teaching your body that if these series of events transpires, then we're going to sleep. And you want to try and make them as consistent as possible. Again, I'm not saying that you need to do absolutely every single one of these, but any of these would be a good addition. You add in all of them, you're fucking laughing. But, as I said, I'm a realist. I understand. I've got kids, I got a wife, I got a business, I got shit to do. I don't have time to do all of these things. I don't do all of these things. I pick and choose the ones that I find work best for me. But I've worked with enough people and I know enough of the things that these things will all help if you want to undertake them. They will all assist you. But you need to find the version that suits you. You find the version that you can implement. You find the version that you can actually fucking follow through on. And I have more leeway and more empathy on this one than I do on, like the exercises and the nutrition side. Like, you need to be fucking perfect on that. Whole point of phase 1 of Chasing Greatness is that you are fucking perfect. And the discipline and the toughness and the focus and the drive that you will gain from being perfect is huge. But when it comes to sleep, I just need the thing that's going to get it done. I don't care what variation of that is. I don't care how that looks. I don't care what gets you along the line, across the line. You just need to find something that works for you, so that you will do it, that you'll follow through, and you'll start getting that incredible fucking sleep, so that you can level up your life. As we discussed before, there are 3 main areas that are combined in this. It is sleep, nutrition, and exercise. You cover those 3, you become a badass in those 3 areas, and life's gonna get a shit ton better for you. So, pick whatever combination works for you. Figure out what you can do. Figure out what's feasible for you to actually follow through on, and then make it a non-negotiable. The exercise and nutrition side of 126 to Greatness is already the non-negotiable, because that I know I have refined, and it's just the answer. It's what's going to work. It's what's going to deliver the best bang for buck. But on the sleep, you figure out that. I have given you a vast array of options. Pick one, follow through, just fucking do it. End of story. And that's what we need from this, and that's what we need to do on this. So if you are now ready to, you know the answer on that, but you want to take it up a notch in every area of your life, shoot me a message. Let's get you into Chasing Greatness Daily. Let's start that process and see who you can become on the other side of that. Now, if you're not quite ready, same as always, click the link in my bio, grab my top 10 tools to transform your mental toughness. And lastly, as always, if this spoke to you, if you enjoyed it, if you know someone who needs to hear this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. But most importantly, hit that subscribe button, because the majority of people who are watching this are not subscribed. And I'm here every single day. Same as everything in Chasing Greatness, I am here every day and I do not miss, and I do not want you to miss a single episode. So hit the subscribe button because I'll be back again tomorrow. And I look forward to seeing you then.